Okay, so today we're going to look at how to adjust the drive belt on your treadmill. Now the drive belt is located underneath the cover at the front of the machine. You'll know your drive belt needs tensioning because you'll get a slipping of the main belt here. Now the sensation is similar to as if this main belt is slipping on the roller. However, typically with the drive belt there will be a squeak accompanying the slipping. So as someone's running on the machine, as their foot hits the deck, the main belt will stop and there will be a squeak which emits from underneath this cover where the drive belt is. To gain access, it's best to incline the treadmill and then turn the power off prior to removing the cover. Okay, so once your treadmill is inclined and the power's turned off, you can access under the housing by removing the screws on either side. Generally you have 2 on either side and then some on the front of the machine. So this is underneath the motor housing cover as viewed from the front of the machine. Here you can see the motor, flywheel and the pulley driving the belt onto the drive roller. The motor is held in place by 4 bolts. These 4 bolts lock the motor in place to stop it moving. Effectively, you want to get the motor and pull it back as to tension this belt. And this is a belt that's slipping, causing the squeaking noise. So firstly, we need to loosen these 4 bolts. Using a ratchet, you can loosen the 4 bolts which hold the motor in place. You don't need to undo this completely, you just need to loosen them a couple turns to allow this plate to slide. Once they're loosened, then we need to tension the belt by pulling the motor towards the front of the treadmill. That's done by these 2 bolts here. So using a spanner, firstly we want to loosen the locking nuts. Use the spanner to just loosen those and turn them a couple turns with your finger. Once that's done, we can then pull the motor backwards. So turning the bolt itself, put the spanner on, and I would say to start with, go for half a turn. So that would be 3 flats of a spanner. So 1, 2, 3. Do the same on both sides. 1, 2, 3, and that will keep the motor parallel. Once that's done, simply need to tighten up the locking nuts, and then the plate lock in place again with the 4 bolts. That will have tensioned this belt. Now it's time to test the machine and see if it's tightened sufficiently. Okay, so that's how we tension the drive belt. Usually this won't need doing very often, maybe once in the lifetime of the machine. If the belt's really bad when you inspect it, obviously it will need replacing.